Canadian Army. The Canadian Army is a command responsible for the operational readiness of the conventional ground forces of the Canadian Armed Forces. It maintains regular forces units at bases across Canada, and is also responsible for the Army Reserve, the largest component of the primary reserve. The Army is headed by the currently concurrently held commander of the Canadian Army and Chief of the Army Staff, who is subordinate to the Chief of the Defence Staff. The Army is also supported by 3,000 civilian employees for the civil service. Formed in 1855 as the active militia in response to the threat of the United States or to the pride of Canada after the British aggression left for Crimean's War. This militia was later subdivided into permanent active militia and the non-permanent active militia. Finally, in 1940, an order in council renamed the active militia to the Canadian Army on April 1, 1966, prior to the unification of the Canadian Armed Forces. The land forces were placed under a new command called Force Mobile Command. For 2 years following, the army excited as a distinct legal entity before its amalgamation for the Royal Canadian Navy and the Royal Canadian Air Force to form the Canadian Armed Force. In 1990s, the command was renamed to Mobile Command and then to Land Force Command until it reverted to its original title in August 2011. During its history, the Canadian Army has fought in a variety of conflicts, including in the Northwest Rebellion and the Second Boer War, the First Second World War, Korean War, and most recently with the Gulf War. In the War in Afghanistan, history formation period of confederation in 1867, the British Army, which included both fencible regiments of the British Army recruited within British North America exclusively for service in North America, and Canadian militia unit was responsible for the defense of Canada. Some circle regiments of the Canadian Army trace their original to these pre-Confederation militia and fencible units. Following the passage of Militia Act of 1855, the permanent active militia was formed in later and cases decades. Several regular bodies of troops were created there, descendants becoming the Royal Canadian Horse Artillery and the Royal Canadian Dragoons and the Royal Canadian Regiments. The major operations that regular Canadian troops in the 19th century participated included the Northwest Rebellion in 1885 and the Second Boer World War. During the First World War, the Canadian Army raised the voluntary Canadian Expeditionary Force for service overseas and was the primary Canadian participation to the war factor. The Canadian Army also bowed during the Second World War following the declaration of war of Nazi Germany and her allies by the United Kingdom on 3 September 1939, with the Prime Minister William Lyon Mackenzie